What's going on, everybody? James Collins here, Green and Clean Professionals, a former pressure washing company, now making the turn to the AAA agency model with AI. It's 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 only been about 8 days. I'm looking at my calendar. I apologize. Only been about 8 days since we started this journey, and we posted some videos. And basically what this is a open dialogue along the way. As I do this myself, I'm doing it out front so uh, others can see what it takes to start an online business and potentially make income online. uh, Greg Hyatt was supposed to join me tonight. My apologies, but he wasn't able to make it. And how did you like that new video intro I made for him? Motion array. We went over that last week. Template site that I use for video production. They started that and I finished it, and so that's future episodes. We'll do a lot more video editing. I know that's a big interest out there, and I spent 16 years here in Arkansas as a professional video editor, and still 9 to 5 working in simulation and training. So, with that being said, my degree's in computer programming, and my certifications all kind of follow that same line. So I'm really in the weeds and technical on things. But tonight I put together a couple things, a couple coherent thoughts that I think is really going to help some folks out. Sometimes you just have to see this stuff, and it's more my speed. Um, I'm a programmer, so I like to work in this type of environment. All of my tools that I'm releasing this week will be not like this. They're made, they're optimized, they're for ease of use, and they have a purpose behind them. And the goal is that we would be able to build tools that have purpose and are useful, not just to play around and prompt out little cartoon characters and things. Although that's fun to do, and making photos and making your own little projects, that's the way you learn. I understand. But there's a time when you may want to go a little deeper. Um, it requires just a basic understanding of the framework here. This isn't complicated. Like I say all the time, if I can do it, I know you can do it. Um, I'm going to share my screen. So, tonight, what I want to talk about is Streamlit. Streamlit is a interface. Streamlit. It's an interface for your apps. So you actually do write some code with Streamlit, but that's only to customize it to what you're asking it to do. So what I have done is I installed Streamlit. You open vscode and you do pip install Streamlit, and then each one of these are what's called a py file. I created those. And we will do a lot more of this live if this is something that interests you. And I went out and grabbed their app and put it down on my desktop so I could work on it locally. That means no internet. This is just development. So here's where I logged into GitHub. I went out to, let's see here. Let me back up. So here's a few apps I've built with Streamlit. This is not GitHub. This is GitHub. So I went out to GitHub, which is, we've talked about GitHub once or twice. GitHub.com. It's a place where you can go out and find these applications and use case scenarios for your whatever you're trying to build. You can find examples out here where the code is posted and it's free. Now, to pull it down and to make changes to it, which aren't that hard, let me continually say that, to make changes to these apps, you can do that really simply by bringing it to your desktop. But then you need to see your work. You need to be able to prove what it is that you just did and a testing environment on your desktop, not putting it on a website, not on a phone app. This is just locally, you're working on it and you're trying to make it do something, maybe just as a learner. Maybe it is a application that you're going to streamline into a paid subscription. That is a very real possibility, which is why I'm going over it from this standpoint, because I want to make sure that people of all mental abilities, whether it's coding, whether it's more admin work, whether you're a general in the way you approach projects, uh, there's something for everybody that I'm going to be going over. In this case, Streamlit is that interface that you use after you pulled code down. You can use Streamlit to now view that code as if it was in a website. That's called an interface. So before I go any further, what I did was I pulled the code for LLM examples. This is just going to show you an interface and what it looks like. So again, just as a recap from last week, this big blue code button, if you're in VS Code, you can type that and it'll pull it in. Or you can download a zip folder and have the whole folder with all of these files right on your desktop. That's the big blue code button. But one important note, let me just back up. I'll take it slow because I use this all the time. Sometimes I forget uh, where people are in their journey. So I'll back up. One thing you want to do is you always want to create a fork. What that'll do is that'll fork you off a your own repository of code, and you will not be messing with their main branch of code that's theirs. Now you have your own fork. You're working on your own project and it's all saved and organized under your name now instead of Streamlit. So you don't have to go look this up every time. It'll be in your own it'll look exactly like this, but it'll just be, instead of LLM examples, mine would say Cyber Sim Coder right here. I'm just showing you how to do that by going to your search, type in Streamlit, and then, or whatever it is that you are looking to do. Um, as a cybersecurity operator, I used to go out and grab PCAP scanners a lot. Um, there's all kinds of things on GitHub. It's one of the best kept secrets if you're not a coder or been around code. So, LLM examples. This is a Streamlit interface with the code in the background running on your local desktop, but it's just as easy to put on a website. Like I said, if you want to monetize it and take this further, we're just working locally. But before you can work on anything Streamlit, you will have to choose which model you're going to use. And the case of this example, OpenAI model, the Chat GPT they call it, or OpenAI, is is um, the LLM or large language model that we'll be using. So you notice that the project's called Example LLM. So LLM is what OpenAI is. It's a large language model. I'm trying to go slow. What you want to note is to use GPT, you don't even have to log in. It's a free account. If you do log in, it's going to be a little bit better. It's still a free account, and you can choose to upgrade to the professional plan or pro plan. But here, what I want to show is this right here, API platform from the login. This isn't something that very many people would use that are just first time users. However, it is what we need. The API platform is also known as the developer platform, but you have all of your documentation, and you also have what's called your playground. That's important because when you're around AI, um, especially when you're building apps or you're building prompts that will build apps, or however you're approaching your project, you take it to the playground and you can run OpenAI's model for free back there and test your code before you ever go live with it. So that's a testing platform, and all AIs have them. Uh, they're just called playgrounds, just so you know, that's a term that is widely used. And on this side, what we're looking for is API keys. So I'll click on my name. Oh, let's see here. Did I go right past it because I was using too many words? API key. We just go here. I know it's not there. I thought it was right here. Alrighty. It's been a while. Like I said yesterday, whenever I was streaming, I don't even have an open AI key anymore. Um, until tonight. Let me go to my profile and see if there it is. Whenever you pull up your profile, API keys shows right up. So you click on your logo, your profile, and then API keys. So what I did was I came out a few minutes ago and created a Streamlit app example API key. Just because it's live, I will create a new key so you see how it's done. But just know I use this key in my app. So you click the big green button here and you name it whatever you want to name it. In this case, live stream. Select a project. I'm just going to do a default project. These are permissions. These are important to note in case you don't want your API key to be written to or executed on, or just normal permissions. You can click read only. I'm going to leave this at all and then do create new secret key. Now, what you do is you just simply copy this key. When it asks for open API key or your API key, as you can see on the screen here, API, application programming interface, this is what you're looking for. So again, you went out to OpenAI. Instead of doing login, you went to the API reference login. It brought you here. You click on your profile, select profile, API key, and there you are. Now, after you get your API key, this is what your app looks like. Whenever you launch it from GitHub, directly right here, this is my fork right here. Just boom. I put my open API key. See there? It's exactly what we just went and got. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'll show you this real quick. So in chat here, Let me move my window up just a tad. Let's see. Are you working? I just added my key and pressed enter. This is exactly what your app would look like. And what we're doing is we're looking at um, obviously the back end code. So I'll be the first in line to tell you I'm not perfect. I was going to show you something really neat there, and all I got was code back that I failed. It happens. So here's another example: file Q&A with the Anthropic model, not the Open API model. What that would do is you just simply select a PDF file and drop it in there, and then ask it questions about your PDF. If it's a 500-page document, um, you can ask it questions on that document, quite literally, and it will answer you questions based on what it has learned from the document that you input. Or you can take data from that document and export it to a table. You can create new documents. I do that quite a bit with my systems. For everything that I do, I create a checklist so I can do it again. Chat with search. Basically, what you're looking at is the ability for your AI model to go out to the internet and actually search websites. That's what chat with search would do. That gives you an API to Google. So Google can go out and crawl and bring you the information. So an example of using this would be name my top 3 competitors in my city. What's their website? What's their average price? What's their anything that you want to know about your competitors, say, and it would go out to the internet and it would find that information and bring it back to you. It's really helpful when building advertisements. You can go out and see what's worked for other people, see how many clicks they got on their ads, or even who engaged. You can go as far as you want with it. So again, this is a very similar product to the first one, but you are just asking. This is open API. This is like open AI, but it's yours, if that makes sense. It's on your desktop now, not out on a website somewhere. What this actually, it will still send data out. If you're familiar with cybersecurity principles, it's not hard to overcome this. What we do is in VS Code, we build an environment, and we will go through that in groves. I promise you. So a prompt template is really neat, because you can make an app that you can sell. For example, that they only have to enter in their business type, service business type, and it'll write a blog outline on pressure washing, or it will write on your service business that you operate. You can make this prompt to where in the background your code knows exactly how to output the file, all of the information that it's looking for from somebody to put into this box. You can make this as scalable as you want, but this is a single tool that has been created to make a blog. You put in your service business, pressure washing, boom, it's going to write you a blog. And chat with feedback. These are just examples, like I said, but this over here, the way this pulls up, the way you have a screen here that your text is on and is output to, all of that's called an interface. I wanted to hit that today because This is Streamlit. What the typical journey is for AI is you'll start as a single user. You'll figure out maybe some automations with Zapier or Make.com, then VS Code to make minor adjustments. It's not hard again. And then you'll have an idea and you'll think, how can I put AI on my website? And how can I make that an interface that shows up on my website so users can come and I can potentially charge for these services or charge for my tools? This is why I brought this up tonight for research. Streamlit is who I use uh, for my interface. If you go to their pro version, they have multiple interfaces. They integrate with LangChain, which is awesome the way it's set up. It's uh, it keeps things fast as possible, and it is super scalable for app building. And it has the right hooks in the right places with the right companies. As you grow, you're going to find that um, if your if your app's coded in LangChain, it'll grow with you. It's a stable code environment, and then you got Streamlit, which is an interface, so you can do this all locally and not ever say touch a corporate network for a business or something similar. Lots of use cases for being able to do this locally on your local machine. And like I said, I'm a programmer by degree and over a decade of software management and still work in simulation. And I'm going to be more techie with when I'm by myself because this is what I feel like that is the unknown of AI is how do you take what has already been done and make it your own and make it usable and for your business at the lowest amount of cost possible. Because I've found that everything in AI has a price. Everything is an upcharge somewhere. You can get this one tool for this price, but the next tool is going to be this price, and the next tool is going to be this price, and so on and so forth. And if you can hear my French bulldog, that's a Nuggy. She's always with me. She's just grunting. That's what she does. I'm going to check Facebook real quick. See Robert. Um, I don't know how to look at a live stream. I'm really new to this making media content, but from what from my standpoint, where I'm at, starting a business from scratch, I have a lot of skills in the background because I've been doing this a long time. But I myself did not know how to build an app and put it out there for sale and build a paywall and make it web accessible and cyber secure until I did the research. So I started doing some research. Now I'm starting to implement, and as I'm implementing, one of the very first stages in every single master class that I've taken is you want to make content. Content is king, as Greg Hyatt would say. Hey, there I am. I don't see any comments on Facebook. Let's go on over to YouTube just in case. And I know you can see my screen. It's kind of strange. So we don't have any chats out here yet. So if you're viewing this later on, thank you for stopping by. If you are here live, welcome. Please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible. And if you want more tips and tricks on what we're doing here, this is the AAA agency model, but I'm just starting 8 days in now. Um, we're going to build this from scratch, and I'm going to show you the tools that I use along the way. And then I'm going to give you my tools along the way throughout these live streams. We're just now picking up on the practical examples and doing more where you're aware of what Streamlit is, what GitHub is, even some of my tool sets, which I'm going to start my stream day after tomorrow on. The more that you're aware, the easier it is to understand, like when we actually go in and start working together on some things. But that's coming soon. Um, very, very, very soon, as in this week soon. I don't want to keep your time any longer. It's 7:58. I try to be respectful, right at 30 minutes. Apologies that Greg Hyatt wasn't on tonight. He will be joining me tomorrow night at 6:30 ish, and we'll go live again. So if you missed tonight, stand by for tomorrow 6:30. And again, thank you for being here. You could be anywhere. If you want to post in my comments or my chat, like who you are, where you're from, what you do, that would be awesome. Just drop a line. I'm just getting started, so I need more people to interact with these posts. Um, if you could like it or comment, those things really do help. And again, I'm James Collins, Green and Clean Professionals, once a professional pressure washing company, now made the turn, and we are going into consulting into the AAA agency using AI. So if you're interested in that type of thing, stay tuned, subscribe to my channels, and we should be doing at least 5 videos a week. And put your comments below what you want to see, what your questions are, and I'll start tailoring these videos a little bit more to the audience that's listening. Thanks again. Y'all have a great evening.